So this is the second video for lesson 2, and we're going to look at a bit more styling now, using the style attribute to give some rounded edges to the images and also to make everything a little bit more aligned in the center. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my code, and there are several things I'm going to do with the images. The first of which is going to be getting the first narwhal, and in its style attribute, this bit here. So this is my first image of a narwhal. I know that because it's part of the paragraph I've made already. So if you look at that, narwhal 1, which is there. I'm now going to, just make sure you know that it's in the paragraph. Obviously, if you're struggling to find it, put a semicolon after the height. So obviously the height's 150 pixels. After that, we're going to add an attribute to give it rounded corners. We're going to type in something called border radius, okay, and the border radius, if I put 70px just to show you to begin with and go there, it's like really rounded. We don't want it that round, we want it maybe 30, so go for 30 pixels. Let's have a look at it now. There we go, nice curved edges but not too round. And I can copy that instruction. Remember to get the semicolon as well, and I can paste it into my other images if I wish to do so. So I'm going to do that now. So after the height, there we go, nice and easy. And all of them, when I refresh it now, should have that. So it's that border radius. Right, so that's quite a cool thing to do. I want to float this narwhal to the right hand side of the text it's beside, as opposed to being before it. So what I'm going to go to is I'm going to go back up to that image, all the way up. It says image SCR there. I'm going to put another semicolon, and I'm going to go to float, which is an attribute, float right. Okay, when I do that now, it's going to float to the right. But that's not really too good. So I'm going to do something that's not necessarily relating specific to images, but will help this image and the text balance out really well. And that's reducing the width of the overall content of the page and putting everything in the center a little bit. So there's a way of doing that. And the way we do that is we go to the body, which obviously is all of the visible content of the page. So I'm going to go to its style attribute, and just before the speech mark, I'm going to put a semicolon. I'm going to type something called max width. Now I could make the max width 500 pixels, and we're going to make margin auto. So 2 further instructions there for the style of the body. Max width is 500 pixels and margin is auto. And when I go to the preview page now, I refresh it, and it's made it like that. But that annoys me because all of the little images below now are kind of squished, and one's had to go onto a separate line. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my code. Where I've changed it to 500 pixels, let's make it something a bit wider, like 800, not 80,000, 800 pixels. Let's try that out. So 800 pixels. And that's a lot more agreeable for me. So the actual image and the text balance out nicely, and the image gallery is nicely in the middle. So that max width gives you a main chunk of your page, and then everything around it's the margin. And it automatically puts everything in the center of your page. Finally, we're going to get this main title, and we're going to put this in the middle as well. So what we're going to do is in the H1 style, so the heading one, the big thick heading, this one here, right? This is represented by H1. We're going to put a semicolon, and we're going to write text align. We're going to spell it center like an American would, so C-E-N-T-E-R. Okay, not C-E-N-T-R-E, which is our way of spelling it, but that way. So we're going to put that code in, and that will now make this heading center aligned. There you go. Right, so that's how to do it really. We're just we're getting all of the bits and pieces Correct. So that's in the center, that's floating to the right, and we've got 3 other images below in a gallery. So there you go, that's how to create those particular elements and lay them out as I've just instructed you, and that is the end of lesson 2's videos. There are some further activities for you to complete now in your booklet.